Let's do it.
Oh, hello again, you extraordinary subscribers. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hemingway Land YouTube channel. I had a friend, a lady friend, who worked at Caesars here in Vegas. She worked the front desk at Caesars Palace. She worked there from, I want to say, 2007 to something like 2015 or something like that. And that was during the time where the movie The Hangover came out. It came out in 2009. It was very popular. And in the movie, there's a scene where they check into the hotel to Caesars, and Zach Galifianakis' character asks, did Caesar live here? Is this where Caesar lived? Or whatever the exact line is. And she claimed that after that movie came out, it was just an endless stream of people who would check in at the front desk and ask that stupid question. It went on for years. And it wasn't just knucklehead bachelor parties. It was like everybody. And for the record, guys, I found that movie funny. There are parts in that movie that are funny, that make me laugh. And then there are parts in that movie that I know are supposed to be funny. Intellectually, I go, well, I know that's irreverent, but I'm not actually laughing. And then there's that line, which I found to be really dumb, because, I don't actually believe the character's that stupid. I don't actually believe that. Whatever. Maybe I'm thinking it out too much. But apparently, the rest of the world found that line hilarious. So much so that they would repeat it to her virtually every check-in that she had for the next better part of a decade that she worked there. And she said, the first, couple hundred times that this happened, I was able to laugh it off. I was able to pretend oh, very good, sir. Haven't heard that one before. Caesar. But at a certain point, after the movie was 5 years old and they'd already released a sequel and life had moved on, people were still checking in using that line. She said, I just couldn't mask my contempt for the people who would come there and ask that question. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I bring this up because the vacant land equivalent of does Caesar live here is this comment we got last week on the YouTube channel. I'll show it to you now. So we debuted this property, this 10.7 acres in Cibola County last week. And then somebody left a comment, is that where the U.S. government tested hydrogen nukes in the 1950s? Oh, very good, sir. Very good. Hilarious. Haven't gotten that question before. Selling land in New Mexico since 2017. What bothers me is not so much that the person doesn't know history. It bothers me that they've never seen a movie like, I don't know, Oppenheimer came out a couple years ago. It's very successful, made a lot of money, won a lot of awards, won the Oscar for Best Picture, had the most one-dimensional portrayal of Harry Truman ever committed to film, but still, it was otherwise a very good film. And if you'd seen that movie, you would know Los Alamos, Roswell, not Cibola County. Now, I realize history and fact are irrelevant to this person. He's just trying to make a joke. I understand that. But literally, like every property we ever list in New Mexico, that was a government test. Just thought I would share that with you guys. In addition, guys, other things I'll be sharing with you this week include the following. We recently hired a new person here at the company. This person's job description is not specifically to give me more work, but that's where this is going to go over the next few weeks. So what you're going to be seeing happening here on the channel, there's going to be some subtle changes to the website. There's going to be some subtle changes with the channel. We're going to be producing content starting specifically with properties that have been on the website, did not have video produced at the time they were originally released. This week is one such example. We have a small property we're going to talk about in Socorro County. And then we have this other property I'm going to do a video for. It's been on the website over a year, but it never had a video. Some speculate that is what has prevented it from selling. So we're going to do a video, and you're going to see that on and off over the next month. Additionally, I'm going to be producing other video content, going to be writing, going to be rewriting things, etc. It's going to keep me busy. So we've got a bulk acquisition coming up in about 2 weeks. In itself, I'll be doing one of my distillation of all human knowledge videos on the topic of the subdivision that these properties are in. After that, then it's probably going to be a little bit of time off as we're building up acquisitions. Additionally, guys, I will tell you, if you're like, oh, what do you need time off? Well, because there's properties that just can't get photographed this fast. And I got my guy in New Mexico running all over the state. And at the moment, he's the only one who's actually busy. So, point being, we're going to buy him a little time while we're doing other things on the channel. Whatever the case, you're going to see new video content being produced, other things happening with the website, etc. So just stay tuned for that. But videos for previously released properties that didn't have videos. Anyway, things to look forward to. And by the way, guys, before we get to this week's properties, do want to say a little special thanks. We're not going to do special thanks this week because all the properties that we have tied up with buyers are slowly, ever so slowly making their way through title and escrow. That being said, did recently sell a property out in Costilla County, Colorado to Drew. This one is represented by Rob the Realtor. So special thanks to both these individuals. But I bring this up, guys, because it was a property out by the lake in Costilla County. And it sat on the website for over a year, maybe because I didn't make a video about it. I don't know. We're going to try to remedy those problems in the next few weeks. Whatever the case, if you right now are sitting there jealous, envious, furious that you were not aware of or did not take advantage of property out by this beautiful lake. Look at this footage, guys. Oh, my God. Look at this. Fear not, guys, because there is an additional property by that same lake still available on the website. This one right here. And by the way, guys, now that we're doing owner financing on everything on the website, keep in mind you do not need to pay $40,000+ in cash all at once. We have affordable down payment, monthly payment options, etc. This one, a mere, what is it, something like $8,000 down. So feel free to take advantage of that, guys. A lot easier to purchase your dream property by the lake. And by the way, guys, in case lakeside property in Colorado is not your jam, maybe you're looking for lakeside property in New Mexico, you'll be glad to know that over in Quay County, New Mexico, we have property by Ute Lake, again, with affordable owner financing option, guys. You don't need the full cash price. You could pay a mere $9,600 down. Very affordable. Anyway, with all that said, guys, let's get to this week's new properties. Here we go. All right, people. New property going live this week in planningless and zoningless Socorro County's Rio Grande Estates. Another one of the couple thousand 1-acre lots that you find in this region and that we feature so often. This one is priced at $19.50 and is offered, like all of our properties now, with affordable owner financing. More on that in a bit. For now, guys, let's go to the map. Now, of course, you guys are all pros. You guys know the score on this region. But for the uninitiated, the new people to the channel, this is Albuquerque up here. And about 40 minutes south of that, we have Socorro County. And located within Socorro County, you will find the I-25 over here, the Manzano Mountains over there, and in between them, you will find tens of thousands of residential acres known as the Rio Grande Estates subdivision, aka, guys, aka this region you see here. And if you notice on the map, you have US Highway 60, which cuts through the southern part of the sub, and today's property is located in that region, south of the highway, and what the plat map describes as Unit 14. And more specifically, today's property sits down here, just a half mile south of the highway, along Del Mar Ave, and just east of Delano. And of course, guys, as we have discussed in the past on this channel, the parts of the subdivision that sit just south of the highway benefit from their proximity to that highway. This was the first part of Rio Grande Estates to get built up, and thus it was the first part of the subdivision to feature power lines. Power lines, of course, beget development, and development begets regular trafficking of the roads, which means more people want to buy here, more people want to build here, more utilities get extended out here, and the roads are better maintained. Now, this, of course, is not to suggest that this area is wall-to-wall development, quite the opposite, but you will find more people living here, more developed structures here, more utilities, and better maintained roads than elsewhere within the same sub. And as we go back to the map, you'll see that that is certainly the case here. For while the subject property does not have power at the lot line, you can see there are a number of developed structures here, and here, which do, as well as these two developed home sites, one road south on Chula Vista. Point being, guys, nearest residential power lines are about 500 feet south of the subject property, and in a region like this, where they seem to get extended up, down, and sideways from one structure to the next, my suspicion is it will not be difficult or expensive to get them extended here. If it is, however, you guys always have solar panels to fall back on. Now, the greater advantage of this region, however, is the lack of formal zoning. No HOA, no annual dues, and no covenants or restrictions, all of which makes this one of the few places in the state where you are free to develop the land however your little heart desires. That, of course, makes this area ideal for unconventional, non-conforming structures such as tiny homes, shipping containers, barn dominiums, geodesic domes, whatever the trend is this month, guys, okay? or if you prefer simply parking your RV and camping for indiscriminate periods of time. And of course, guys, don't take my word for it. We have sold so many properties in this region that past buyers created a Facebook group where they get together to discuss living in this region, developing land, tips and tricks, all the hot gossip, so on and so forth. That page, of course, is linked on ours under our property details, helpful links section right here. And of course, one more of the very nice features of buying land in this region is that it puts you within easy driving distance not only of the nearby aforementioned Albuquerque, but also Elephant Butte Lake, the largest body of water in the state. So, of course, on the weekends, you can take your RV down and camp out here, rent a boat, do some fishing, do some water sports, relax, general relaxation, guys, and then return on Monday to Socorro County and the land you call home. So if you are so inclined as to purchase this property, you'll be glad to know that we're selling it for the low price of $19.50. And, of course, you can initiate that transaction by clicking this button here. If, however, you do not have the entire $19.50 now, you can always come to here and click this button and take advantage of the owner financing option of $550 down, $150 a month for 16 months with 90 days, same as cash. The contract you'll be asked to sign can be viewed at this link, and as always, guys, you can review that before placing even $1. All right, people, going live on the website this week, we are back with some more land in planningless and zoningless Socorro County. This time, however, we are not in any of the usual subdivisions we normally list land in, but rather a different subdivision a little further removed, one that we have only had opportunity to buy and sell in a few times, but one which past buyers have really liked, really responded well to, and one which I believe you will as well. This one features no zoning or restrictions, is very private, and is priced at a mere $1,000 an acre with very affordable financing. So if you're as eager to hear about this one as I am to tell you about it, let's go to the map together. Here we go, guys. Alright, so just to acclimate us here, we are looking now at a map of central New Mexico. Albuquerque is up here. And if we get on the I-25 and drive south for about 40 minutes, past Los Lunas and past Berlin, we will come to Socorro County. And if we zoom in on the map, we will see the pin located over here, just west of the I-25, and just north of the town of Magdalena, as well as Highway 60 down here. That pin, by the way, is the subject property, and it is located in a subdivision known as Valle de Manana, which occupies roughly all the land you see here. Now, just to stay on the map for a second here, as you can imagine, this is a very rural area. You've got the Sevalita National Wildlife Refuge over here, the San Lorenzo Canyon down here, and not much else in between. That said, you will notice on the map there is a road snaking through this region all the way from the I-25 up and over and back around and down to Magdalena. Point being, it connects the two and works as a reliable access point whether you are coming from the east or from the south. Now, depending on what part of this road you're looking at on a map, it will either be identified as State Road 12 or Forest Road 354. Additionally, County Road 51 branches off the state road and runs through the other portions of this region, and hence the Valle de Manana subdivision. And this is all my way of saying, guys, that however remote this subdivision and today's property may be, they are still easily accessible via these roads, which are maintained year-round. And as I've been talking, my video editor has no doubt been showing you examples of what these roads look like. Of course, guys, however well maintained this road is, this is still a remote part of New Mexico hill country, so if you do decide to take a drive out here, I'd recommend a larger truck or off-road capable vehicle, and just to be safe, I'd probably also take a spare tire with me as well. Alright, so the carved up area we see on the map here is the Valle de Manana subdivision. This is another one of these areas where a developer came in, bought up a couple thousand acres of land, chopped everything up into generously portioned 5-acre parcels, and resold them to the general public. And despite the rural setting of this subdivision, you will find some unexpected things out here. Thing number one, people live here. Obviously, it's not suffering from overdevelopment, but there are residential home sites, some ranchettes, and some small family farms in this region. Thing number two is the presence of utilities, which do actually exist out here in the form of both residential power lines as well as underground telecom boxes. Now, to be clear, guys, these utilities do not run up and down every road. They do not touch every property, but there are at least enough of them to suggest that they can be extended and or connected to whatever structure you are developing for less than you might assume. In short, despite looking like the middle of nowhere, it does have utilities, and you will not be forced to develop this off the grid if you do not want to. Thing number 3, and this ties back to what I was discussing earlier, roads. They're in pretty good shape, which again, for a region that doesn't see a ton of regular traffic, it's a nice thing to have. Now, when it comes to the subject property, a couple things to know. Number 1, the listing that we are looking at today is 10 acres of land, or rather a combination of 2 adjacent 5-acre parcels. Number 2, your nearest neighbor, which looks like this, is roughly about a half-mile away over here, so again, plenty of privacy. Number 3, the subject property sits about a half-mile south of County Road 51. It is along, or just off County Road 51, where you will find the nearest residential power lines, so roughly a half-mile from the subject property. And finally, guys, and this is the point I know all of you are going to ask about, despite the rural nature of its setting, this property does have legal access. This property was insured by New Mexico Land and title companies don't insure things that don't have legal access. So, despite all appearance to the contrary, this one does. Now, mind you guys, for however well maintained many of the primary roads are in this area, the smaller, we'll call them side streets, don't see as much traffic and thus are not as well defined. Doesn't mean they don't exist, they're just not well defined. So, for instance, if we come to the arcane plat map the county provided for us, you will see first in the wider shot here that this entire sub was drawn up with an eye toward providing legal access to every parcel. And when we go to the zoomed in image here, you can see that this one has it here along the western boundary. Now, for those of you wondering what this Y-shaped thing is, I am not entirely certain myself. This looks to me more like a utility easement, but as there are no power lines running through the land, it's difficult to confirm that. Either way, if we go back to Google Maps, you can see the outline of what clearly look to be grid-style roads which lead out to the land. Those, by the way, look like this. And we can also see from the drone overhead shots such as this, that even if those are not ideal access roads, you have this Y-shaped road cutting through the property. Either way, guys, for those of you who worry about such things, yes, legal access exists, and if you purchase this property, you will not have to cross anyone else's land to get to your own. In regards to the Y-shaped path cutting through the property, that may be more the product of decades of yahoos on dirt bikes going wherever they please, but if it were me, I would confirm that with a surveyor. Either way, guys, you should be able to fence off the land with little, if any, resistance. Next, let's talk about zoning. There is none! Yes, people, as we have covered in countless, too many to count videos, Socorro County has no planning and zoning office. And as they write on their county website, they quote, "Do not restrict the use of real property." In addition, the Valle de Manana subdivision has no HOA, no annual dues, and there are neither covenants nor restrictions on file with the county, meaning that when the subdivision was first created, nobody wrote any additional rules for landowners to conform to, not even minimum square footage requirements. And when you add all those things up, it makes this property ideal for those looking to build non-conforming or unconventional structures difficult to get permitted elsewhere. What does that mean exactly? It means there was an old woman who lived in a shoe, and in Socorro County, you can too. Tiny homes, shipping containers, earthship homes, geodesic domes, whatever your little heart desires, if you can build it, you can live in it out here. Additionally, it also means you can use the land for recreational purposes, such as camping and RVing for indiscriminate periods of time. And of course, given the region that you're in out here, it also makes the property ideal for riding dirt bikes, shooting guns, and being all around awesome. Finally, guys, one of the other really nice things about land in this region is your proximity not only to the largest metropolitan area in the state in nearby Albuquerque up north, but also Elephant Butte Lake, the largest body of water in the state, located just an hour south. So, of course, on the weekends, guys, you can take your RV down there and camp out. You can rent a boat, do some fishing, do some water sports, general relaxation, guys. And then return on Monday to Socorro County and the land you call home. So if you would like to purchase this property, you will be glad to know that we are offering these 10 acres for the low cash price of $10,000, or hang on, let me do the math, yes, $1,000 an acre. And as with all of our listings, we have 2 easy ways to purchase this property: buy for cash or buy on terms. Here is how both of those processes will play out. So first, guys, for those of you who have all the money right now and want to pay for the property all at once, just come up here, click this Buy Now button, You will be directed to this checkout. We ask for a non-refundable earnest money deposit of $500. People, let me say that again. Non-refundable earnest money deposit of $500. At checkout, guys, you'll be asked how you want to fund and close this purchase. Some buyers are cool with paying us directly and letting us handle the conveyance. Other buyers want title insurance and elect instead to close through a title company. The choice is entirely up to you. Whatever that choice may be, we will get you documentation within 24 hours for you to review. If you elect to pay us directly, that documentation will include a new deed plus payment link for the remaining balance. If instead you choose to close through title and escrow, that documentation will include a sale purchase agreement. Basically, the way that one works is you sign it, we submit it to title, and they do the rest. And as always, guys, a copy of the sale purchase agreement you'll be asked to sign can be viewed at this link. That way you know the exact terms of the deal. Now, if, however, guys, you do not have the entire purchase price of the property, if you do not have a spare $10,000 laying around, you will be glad to know that, like all of our properties, we have an owner financing option. Simply come to this button here, and you will see the terms are $2,500 down, $250 a month, for 42 months with 180 days, or 6 months, same as cash. Simply check out here by placing the $2,500 down payment, and within 24 hours, you will receive documentation from us, which will include a land contract demonstrating your equitable interest in the property. And as with all of our contracts, guys, if you would like to see what the land contract looks like, you can click this link here so you will know exactly what you'll be asked to sign before placing even $1. With all that said, going live on the website over the month of August will be a number of small dollar properties, as well as whatever our photographer gets photographed first. Mind you, guys, his schedule is backed up, and mind you as well, it's weather permitting. In addition, some additional content that I had teased earlier, as well as the bulk acquisition and the no doubt super long video that I will be doing to discuss that subdivision. I hope not to make it as long as the 44-minute Rio del Oro video. That was a bit much, I admit. Nonetheless, super informative video about a specific subdivision somewhere, someplace, coming to the channel soon in the weeks ahead. Until such a time, everybody have a great week, and we will see you back here in our next video.